DVLA. Whether you have questions to your renewal, your registration, whatever it is, just send your messages through our WhatsApp 055-556-1034. Though that's the line you can send your WhatsApp messages to 055-556-1034, and we will read out your messages. Yeah, so whatever questions you may have, you can send it to that number, and we'll answer those questions. So my guest to help me with the discussion is Mr. Stephen Kwabena-Atu, who is the Director of Corporate Affairs at the DVLA. Good morning, and you're welcome.
Good morning.
Yes. So the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Organization, the DVLA, has achieved success through strategic reforms focused on efficiency, transparency, and innovation. Among other things, the DVLA has successfully digitized its services, streamlining processes such as vehicle registrations and license issuance. So these are some of the issues we'll be touching on this morning. So just before, one of the trending news stories this morning is the fact that there's a news flyer going around that says Foreign Affairs Ministry has granted approval for some DVLA staff to travel to USA, Canada, UK, Netherlands, and Germany to register and renew licenses of Ghanaian drivers in the diaspora. And this says from the DVLA boss. You've also issued a communique to that effect. Can you enlighten us on what exactly is happening here?
Okay, thank you, and a good morning to our viewers. DVLA, our drive has been to bring our services as closer to the people of Ghana as possible. And over the period through which we have been at DVLA, there have been several concerns. You have Ghanaians who are outside who possibly have come across an opportunity, and they are required to produce license, So the Ghanaian has a license, and he needs to prove with an international driver's permit that allows them to drive wherever they are. And because of the structure we have currently, such a permit can only be done when you are physically present. So if you are not physically present, it becomes difficult for you. And again, for some individuals also, when they take their permit, after a year, it dies, it expires. So you have to renew it as well. Mm-hmm. And that also needs to be done physically. International driver's permit has consistently been in a written form, so not something that is ISO certified. What we do here in Ghana, for instance, if you come from UK and you hold a UK license and you come with a permit and you even want to convert that license into a Ghanaian license, which allows you to drive, we have to do what you call verification through the database in the United Kingdom.
Okay.
So that is the verification that will allow us to now confirm that indeed you are a certified driver from that system. And then we convert and give you a Ghanaian driver license. Similar situations also pertains to Ghanaians outside. When they go out there and they finally enter the process to acquire a license, once you are a certified driver in Ghana, they need to come through our database and confirm that as well before they can issue you with the license.
Okay.
Now, we felt that it is important, looking at the client base we have outside of the country, to bring the services that they need to come down to Ghana physically to acquire at those places. So the whole concern is not to send domestic staff of DVLA outside of the country.
Okay.
So the collaboration with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is to ensure that we can train the staff or some staff of the embassies who receive those requests from Ghanaians, and we will give the training in such a way that they can verify the documentations that we require. Then they will forward them to Ghana.
Okay.
And then DVLA will process them, and then we will dispatch it to those countries. Then they can pick them up. So if we require the biometrics and every other thing, we could collect that data from you when you visit the embassy, and then we process it from Ghana, and then we send it to you. So that makes it easier. So for a person who has not left the country with an international driver's permit, because you could have acquired it before going, but after finding yourself there, now you realize that you require one. Would you have to come to Ghana? If there's an opportunity, that also makes it difficult for you. You can't take it. So you can walk to the embassy, where we are currently piloting with 5 countries. Not that we will be piloting with 5, because we've gotten the approval with the Foreign Affairs Ministry to now begin work at it, so that we can begin to deliver the service.
Which countries?
So we are looking at United Kingdom, the USA, Canada, the Netherlands, and then Germany. These are the 5 that we want to pilot with. And depending on the success of this, we will roll it out, because Ghanaians are almost everywhere. So depending on the numbers as we have, the presence of Ghanaians there, we are training the embassy staff to be able to deliver or to be able to collect data and verify it and send to us. Then we can process. So it's not more of sending staff you'll be paying, or establishing the DVLA office, acquiring the space and setting up a DVLA office for that service to be done. So that need to be put in its proper perspective.
Yeah, so that, it's not like a staff of
yes,
DVLA.
Because I believe that
if
a Ghanaian who is in the US currently on a Ghanaian international driver's permit which has expired knows that, okay, the system will allow me now to be able to make the application through the embassy to Ghana for them to process.
You can see your biometrics and everything.
That person will be happy. Rather than putting it across that we are sending stuff from the DVLA to those places. Obviously, the two cannot never be the same. So that is what we need to put in place.
Oh, okay. So it's the UK, the US, Germany, Netherlands, and which other country? Canada. Okay, yes. Canada as well.
These are the places we are looking at piloting.
Oh, okay.
And once we succeed from there, then we can roll it
so
out.
Thank
to
you,
other places.
this thing for enlightening us on that committee, because a lot of news surrounding that very issue. You even issued a communique to that effect, just to explain.
I mean, I'm a media person, and a lot of the times the headlines seems to mostly put us up. People, I don't know if for one reason or the other, the media feels that they have to sensitize the headlines. What do you call it? Sensitization. Or
misinform people?
Yeah. So they put it in such a way that I'm looking for sensationalism. Forgive me. So people get attraction. They get a lot of comments under post because it carries a headline that possibly does not even.
So you mean like they don't really read what the story is?
Yeah, so if you don't read the story, sometimes it's difficult to know the perspective and the context within which the comment was made or the policy has been announced. But this is the space in which we work. So
now, historically, the DVLA has been a place where people need services. They go there, and if you're not careful, you may spend a lot more time than you intended to. Yeah. So how has the DVLA made interactions with customers easier this time around?
So you see, it's all in line with this very conversation we are transitioning from. Accessibility to our service. You know, this authority serves the entire country, and the whole population of Ghana is a potential client base of the authority. So the least you can do, because you enforce compliance, where if somebody goes against the laws of DVLA, the person can face legal consequences, is to also make it easier for the person to access your service. So that has been the drive throughout the last year until now. So as I speak with you, we've brought in 13 new offices, sorry, not 3, 13.
13, okay.
From last year to now. And so we opened an office in Adentan, for instance. And our Adentan office runs 24 hours because we realize that the demand is there. And I mean, the office is doing well. If some of your media colleagues have gone and testified to the effect that indeed that office is operational and they are phenomenal in their delivery. We opened an office also in Bole. So the entire Savannah region, there was none. So we opened one at Bole. We've done one in Doma, and you know that is a new region. That is Bono region, and then the Havo region. We've opened one in Bechim. Okay, we've done an office in Dansoman, and then again we did another in Eboakwa and Ashanti region. Eboakwa, we have one also at Bonyuri, also in the Ashanti region. Then we opened a Doom office also in Bantama. So you can see Ashanti region alone, I think we've increased the number to about 13 offices in the region currently, because it's a big region.
Yeah.
Then we've done...
aside the Adenta one, are they also operating on the team?
No. So what we are looking at is that if the operation proves very successful, then we can begin to work extended service. So they can do extended hours, working from 6 to 2 o'clock, 2 to 10 p.m. And then they can close. If it proves that it can run for 24 hours, why not? That will do. Then we open one in North Dai, somewhere near Vapo.
Okay.
And then another one in Jasikan, in the Oti region. And for the entire of Oti region, this is the first office. Even though we are looking at opening a regional office at Dambai, which is the regional capital. Then we've opened one also in Akwitia, and then Asamankese. So this makes up the 13 that we've opened.
Okay.
Now, we've realized again that people spend a lot of money to acquire service that costs less than the transportation. And that is not motivation. If I go to DVLA and I will pay, say, 120 cedis or 160 cedis to renew a license, and yet I would have to travel and pay. If I look at the transportation cost, I'll end up spending like 300 cedis.
Which is way more than the service.
If the person weighs the cost-benefit analysis, what the person would do automatically is that, okay, I'll keep driving. If they meet the police, if they want to take money, I pay 20 cedis, I pass.
But in the long term, you're going to pay more than 300 cedis.
Exactly. So we felt that, look, if you bring in the office, somebody will sit somewhere and say, it's not costing you, but the service you deliver will be paid for. You're also doing away with the phenomenon of having middle people who come in and stand in between DVLA and the person, charges the person exorbitantly, going to acquire a service that is minimum in terms of cost, and then delivers it to the person. And likelihood of even having fake service delivered to the person is there. And then you come across law enforcement, and law enforcement says that what you're holding is not authentic. And that also becomes a matter. So we feel that, look, let's deploy as much as we can closer to the people so that the service becomes available. They can't have excuse anymore to say that because of distance I could not access your service, even though we believe that even with all that we have done, we have not reached our destination.
I thought this is where the digitization process comes in. Yes, is there to help simplify the process. Has that come to fruition?
So yes, so when we walk to our offices currently, you are engaged in the digital space. So you realize that those days when you are going to DVLA, you are even supposed to carry a passport picture along with you and all of that. But now the system is such that it takes you the picture by itself. And then we take biometrics. And then we have a platform with the NIA for verification, because now every service you have to initiate, you need to use your Ghana card to initiate that process. So then again, after the service is delivered, we look also at instances where we provide you with messages that alerts you of a due date for you to come back to DVLA.
Okay. So if you have to renew your license,
it will remind you that the reminder is done a month before, 2 weeks before, you get those notifications given to you. So these are measures. And again, we keep preaching that people should come in and onboard their vehicles, because prior to 2024, everybody who registered a vehicle at DVLA walked away with papers, documents. Now, the registration of a vehicle at DVLA is digitized such that when you come and walk you through the process, you live with a single paper, which is a title certificate.
Can you take us through that process now? Like what exactly happens?
So when you have a car, you want to register. So we'll start with someone who has a new car, fresh from manufacturer. That vehicle, you send it to DVLA because it is fit for use. For someone who brings in a vehicle that is a second-hand vehicle, that is a vehicle that has been pre-owned by someone, we have to test it at our private vehicle testing stations. And then they will give you a report that indicate the vehicle fitness to be on the road. So you take it to DVLA, in addition to the custom declaration forms. Then your Ghana card. Then we register the vehicle. In the past, the registration goes with a writing, documentation, and everything. So when we finish, you take it, we give you copies of the number of forms that we have to fill and everything. You take it home with you. That becomes your vehicle documents. So if anybody asks you, you conduct a transaction and they need to have they usually say papers. That's all you have to present. So what if in the process, after you've registered a car 10 years ago, some of them are missing? That means you don't have the full documentation. Currently, the regime allows you to register and walk away with what we call a title certificate, which is a single document.
So for new cars, for second-hand cars?
So the registration, the output of it now is that you don't carry the papers again anymore. You go with a title certificate.
That's when you come to DVLA?
Yes, that's when you come to DVLA. And then you go with a vehicle registration card, which is just in the form of a license, but the design is different. So it contains all the information about the vehicle. So if you get to a point where you feel like you have to dispose of it, you are selling, you just sign on the certificate. And then the new owner can take it, and then you help the person to do a change of that. You have our copies.
So wait,
you don't carry the original documents with you.
So you have the original?
The documents are with us.
The original ones are with you?
Yes. Okay. So you have to come with the documents, because you see, people engage in several forms of transactions. And if I find your car papers, and I'm able to take possession, and some will actually even keep the papers in their cars. So someone, for instance, hijacks your car.
Or somebody takes the car or steals the car.
And when you produce those papers and says, I'm the owner.
Yeah.
I bought the car, so do a transfer. That's why.
Isn't there a picture or something that will show that the person who registered the car, that's on the face?
So the current regime, so you bring in a passport. The previous regime, you bring in a passport. So if the person affixes his passport on, and he finds something to put there indicating that the man has transferred it to me, so this should be it. So now we are saying that if you work with a certificate you can keep it somewhere, and you need to sign off on the certificate with a vehicle registration card. That makes it a simple transaction. So you say that come with all the car documents you have, and some have sold the vehicles. They've done ownership changes. Some have not even done yet. So that this process allows you to do the change of ownership. Then the new owner can have his details put on the document. They will onboard the person onto the digital platform. When we finish that process, then the person can also take the title certificate, which is not in place because your car was registered manually. And then the person now takes the ownership of the vehicle. Now, the reason for which it is necessary again was that because we will come out with the new license plate regime, the registration is going to be fully digital.
Okay.
So if a vehicle comes to DVLA, before we can migrate, or before we can even issue you with the RFID embedded number plate that we want to do this year, we need to bring you onto the digital platform before that will be done. So we are advocating that people at their free time should just walk to the DVLA office with a car document, do the verification, because we have scanned the documents onto a system.
Okay.
But in order to be able to confirm that the one in possession of the car, it's exactly the same as what we have, yes. Yeah. Then come with them, let's verify. If the transfer of ownership was not done, let's do it. Then the new owner's details can now be uploaded onto the digital platform.
Yeah.
Then when we begin issuing out the new license plate, we can now connect the person who owns the car now to the license plate, because the license plate now will carry information. It must be in sync.
Yeah.
It makes it easier.
But this onboarding, can that also be done digitally, or those who registered before 2024 still have to come?
Those who registered before 2024 they have to be onboarded, so they need to come.
They need to come to the office.
Yes, with a manual documents.
Because they register manually.
Exactly. Then we would onboard them onto the digital platform. But for anyone who has the title certificate or the vehicle registration card, they have been registered digitally already, so they don't need to come again.
Okay.
They are ready. When we come out with a new plate, they are ready to be attached DVLA as a party. We are not a party in that transaction. So concerns are coming up. You bought a car, it's a transaction between you and a vehicle dealer or an importer. How does DVLA come in that space? The point is this. A lot of people are beginning to have these problems because when they bring in vehicles, they are not ready to register the cars immediately. So we see people putting DV plates on their cars and driving it for a long period. By the time the person is ready,
more than 2 years or
yes. By the time the person is ready to register the car, right? The person who has imported the vehicle is not available. If I buy a vehicle from you right now, and I am to register the vehicle right now, how difficult should it be to find you? You see, we should understand that the responsibility of a car dealer to you, he feels more obliged to help you to do the documentation and registration and everything if you act almost immediately after the transaction is given to you. But when you allow time to pass, he doesn't feel he has any
a year or two.
He doesn't feel.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it is between a buyer and a seller, and it is only a seller that can transfer title to a buyer, not DVLA. So if you buy a car and you can't have the documents or title transferred to you by the seller, DVLA has no space. It means that vehicle is not yours. You can't drive it. You have to park it.
So what do they park it? They are not supposed to use it.
What can we do as an authority?
What about the DV plate they've been using?
So
that's also not advised.
The only option here is that you can go to court, go and put your case before them that you bought this vehicle, and that after buying the vehicle, you can't find the person from whom you bought it. You produce evidence to the court. The issue is evidence. After they are they've confirmed that the case you've made to them is adequate,
it's legit.
They will give an order. They will give an order to DVLA to register the car in your name.
Oh, okay, so
based
that's
on
the
that
way
order, DVLA will register you. But if you go to court and you put us as a party, are we parties to the in the transaction? We are not a party to the transaction.
Okay.
Yes.
So, for instance, how does a DVLA ensure road safety through licensing and vehicle registration?
So the point is this: our broad mandate is vehicle registration and licensing of drivers. In the licensing of drivers, you have to go through a process before you get a license. Now, the requirement is that you must go through the training school, and then after you've done that, you are certified by the school that you are qualified. You come to DVLA and take an exam. This exam has not been outsourced. It's done by DVLA directly. If you pass the exam, then we begin the licensing process for you. That is one aspect. Then when it comes to vehicle registration, like I told you, we need to inspect the vehicle before we register the vehicle. So from the word go, a vehicle must be registered before it is put on the road. But the law recognizes the fact that before a vehicle gets registered, it will need to go through some way before it gets to DVLA. For instance, the vehicle could be imported into Ghana. When it gets to the port, it must be identified before it is driven on our roads. So DVLA issues out a DP sticker. It used to be a plate.
Okay.
We issue you with a DP sticker. And the reason why we brought in that sticker, maybe we can have time to go into it later. That DP sticker is valid for 14 days.
Only 14 days?
14 days.
Are there situations where people use it more than the 14 days?
So, by the expiration, and you see, the law enforcement officer should be able to check and know that it has expired because there's an expiry date on it. You can scan it with the QR code, and it will give you details of the car, the date entered, the day the DV was issued, the DP was issued, then expiry date. So they should deal with such individuals. The law requires you in the 14 days to register the vehicle before any further use.
Good. Is the 14 days enough?
It should be enough. If you have bought the vehicle and you have all the documentation, if you walk to DVLA, you can register your car in a day. So the 14 days should be enough for you to register the car. The law recognizes also that there are individuals who are vehicle dealers who may bring in vehicles not necessarily for personal use. So those people are not required to register their cars within 14 days. But the 14 days should be sufficient for moving from the port to wherever he deals with the car. Then, if you're a vehicle dealer, or you are a manufacturer, or you are a licensed trade plate dealer, the DV plate is a trade plate. The law allows you to be given copies of the DV plates so that you keep them with you. If you pick our regulations and read regulation 23 of LI 2180, which is the road traffic regulations, you see it spells out clearly who is entitled to use a DV plate. So DV plate is for someone who is moving the vehicle about for the fixing of one defect or the other.
Okay.
The only time the DV allows you to even carry a second party in the vehicle is that party, the law presumes him that he is with you in the vehicle for purposes of test driving the car to buy.
Like your mechanic or something like that?
You are not required to carry a passenger in a car with a DV plate. So if there's a partner sitting by you, the law presumes that person to be in the vehicle because he's testing the vehicle to buy. Unfortunately, you see people use DV and the vehicle is loaded fully.
Yeah.
It's a complete violation of the law. Then, so if you have not registered a vehicle and you have the DV for purposes of moving around and fixing, once the fixing is done, you take off the DV. To put that vehicle further on the road, you must fix the registration process. You must register and have a plate on it before you drive it. The absence of it, you park the car. I mentioned the fact that we give to vehicle manufacturers, dealers of vehicles, and then licensed trade plate dealers, because they will cover for, you may be an individual who have seen a vehicle, you've imported it into the country for your personal use. Maybe it was an accident vehicle, or whilst even in transit, there's something. So you need to fix. After the 14 days with a DP that you are given, you can approach the licensed trade plate dealer and get a copy of a DV for purposes of moving around to fix that defect. As soon as it is done,
you register the car.
Yes. Though, you see, and the abuses you see is that people, because we say that the plate when it is issued, it is valid for 1 year. They think they can drive it for 1 year and transition to another one the following year. It is valid for 1 year because somebody may bring a car in January he may need a DV, which has been produced in January. I told you the DP is 14 days, specifically stated.
Yeah.
So the DV, what if somebody who brings a vehicle in November or October? We can't keep producing DVs consistently. So they are produced at the same time, and then they are valid till the end of the year. So if we issue it to you even on 24th of December, it expires on the 1st of December. That's what it means. So it is only for use within that year.
Okay.
It is not that you can mount it on your vehicle from January and drive all the way to December, then you change into the following year. And look, in this discussion, a lot of people have called me, and I was beginning to appreciate one thing. You see, one thing we need to know is that DVLA is a law-abiding institution established by law, and it's a state institution.
Okay.
We cannot use our facilities to allow individuals to make private profit without paying taxes. We are realizing that people bring in vehicles, individuals who are not dealers, and they trade in their cars.
How is that possible?
The little thing I learned in a small law reading I've done, we have what we call badges of trade. And as part of it, in determining badges of trade, that is for purposes of tax, so that a person will pay tax on a transaction he has undertaken. So the law allows you, when you undertake a transaction, and based on analysis, it doesn't look like you had intended a trade, it will give you an exemption.
Okay.
But where everything gives an indication that you intended trading, because we see you bring in a car, and within a short period you dispose it, then you bring in another.
It's like
within
a trend.
you
keep coming.
The law would regard that as a trader. You are supposed to be registered business person to deal in vehicles. That's what it means. Some of the vehicles, the cost at which people bring in and sell them. Somebody can bring a car and sell it for 500,000 cedis. And yet that person pays no taxes because he did not register as a fleet dealer. Maybe someone has a garage of 7 cars, 10 cars, he has registered as a fleet dealer. So when he sells a car, he pays taxes because he has made a gain.
So this person is evading taxes.
He's evading taxes. And he wants the DVLA to be providing him with DV plates. And they complain that they are not getting access to DV plates. Those people are not part of our stakeholders.
You've taken note of what they are doing and you're streamlining your activities.
You should be able to register as such and deal in your cars and pay the appropriate taxes to the state. We cannot use our system or allow our systems to be used to evade taxes as a state institution.
And people make profits on the side, private profits on
yes.
Now, I've been speaking with Stephen Atu, who is the Director of Corporate Communications, Corporate Affairs at the DVLA. We've been talking about DP plates, which are 14 days mandatory, so I need to register your car and all that. And then we also clarified the news issue about their staff going abroad to register cars. So for now, they are doing a pilot project in the UK, the US, Germany, Netherlands, and Canada. And he's spoken to us about the reason why they've opened 13 new offices, and including the fact that the Adenta one is running a 24-hour kind of policy, 24-hour operations as well. If you have any questions for us, you want to ask us. He's also told us how to register new cars, second-hand cars, and those if you've lost your some of your documents and whatnot, onboarding, a whole lot has been touched on. So if you want to ask any questions you're not clear about, please send us your message on 055-556-1034. I'll say the number again, 055-556-1034, so I can read out your message to him so he can answer all your questions. So WhatsApp us now so that your answer can be delivered to you. 055-556-1034. Some people were wondering that the DP allows for 14 days. What if at the time the vehicles come in, you don't have enough money to clear it at the time? What happens then?
No, you don't have
enough money to register your car.
So you have a DP when the vehicle is cleared. So there's no way we'll issue a DP for you when the vehicle is still there. When it's cleared and ready to be dispatched, then you get a DP for it. My brother, if you have a car that you are not ready to register, it means you are not ready to drive the car. That's what it means. You must park it. When you are ready to register, you register, then you can drive it.
What if you use all your money to clear the car and everything? So now you are a little short of funds.
The vehicle is not registered. You are not ready to register it, so you park it. When you find the money and register it, then you drive it. Because you see, vehicle is a security matter. You don't have money. You may be well intended. Somebody may have money, right, to even be able to register his car. He can tell you he doesn't have the money to register because he's criminally minded. He used the vehicle to commit a crime and you can't trace it. So why should we allow you on the basis that you could not? Look, you can import a vehicle at a cost. You should know that as part of the processes of acquiring a vehicle fully is a registration. So if you are not done, it means that the acquisition of the vehicle and driving it is not complete.
So tell us about that, the requirements for getting perhaps a new driver's license in Ghana. You must have your Ghana card, you must be of age.
18, you must be of age, and you must be interested in driving. That's one thing.
The way you put it, you must be interested in driving.
Because the point is that you must pass an exam. Yes, and if you cannot pass the exam, even though you were interested or you are interested in driving, you haven't passed, so you can't get a license. That's it. So you only need your Ghana card to initiate the process. So you can actually come to DVLA and initiate the process, but you can't finish it if you don't go to the driving school. So you can walk to any DVLA office right now and say you are ready to acquire a license. They will begin the process with you, and then they will give you the learner's permit. Then you can use that learner's permit now to go to the driving school, get your training, and then when they finish, they give you a code that shows that you have completed the service.
Okay.
Then you can bring it back to DVL. Then we process you further, and then that's when we give you the new driver. You know, you go with the P plate, which means that this new driver in town, so that you can mount on the vehicle that you are using after you have passed all the exams that you will be taking.
Okay, so you pass your exams, you got your P and everything. So how long will it take to get your actual license?
Typically, it should be 3 months for regular service. After that, the regular service, there are also individuals who, for one reason or the other, they can afford to pay more for an expedited service.
Okay.
So we have a prestige service. So it means that all comes at different costs. So
that one is usually a month, or
yes, could be done in a month.
Okay.
And you can have your license card. So those are people who must pay more.
Okay.
And so when you come, those services are delivered at specific grade A offices, Kumasi, Tema, Takrady, Wager or Naman office, Wager, and then head office. You can come there and acquire for those services. But you can walk to any of our offices and apply for it, and in 3 months it's supposed to be done. We've had a challenge. When the current regime came in place, there was a huge backlog. And license applications are almost on a daily basis. So we cleared about 440,000 backlogs as of last year. What happened was that after
44,000?
Yes, 440,000.
440,000. Yes. Wow.
What the chief did was to deploy, the print farm was run on 24-hour basis. So that they can, because people keep bringing applications, you have a backlog. If you don't do something outside the box, and they say you still come and work your normal 8 hours and go, that means that you are piling up a lot more. So he did a 24-hour to clear that backlog. But because I said it is an application that comes on a daily basis,
there are still delays, because some people still complain about that, because some people say they applied last year, even now they don't have their cards.
What I want us to appreciate again is that when you finish the process, we give you a printout, a temporary printout. That temporary printout, the date on which it is given, is that date that is printed on the license itself.
Okay.
So that is as good as a license. We are hearing some law enforcement abusing people. Oh, it has expired. It does not expire. It only expires after 2 years. By which time we should be able to give you a license. Okay, so it is valid for 2 years. So you are only required to replace it. That is worst case scenario, where you have had it for more than 2 years, and you have not gotten your card.
I thought the validity was for like 6 months or so. It's 2 years.
It's 2 years. Because the reason why it is valid for 2 years is that even if you had the card, in 2 years you have to go for a renewal. You understand? So if you have the temporary plate, you should be able to use it. So we assume that after 2 years you are due for harassing people. We have seen the stamp on it. The stamp has expired. It's valid for 2 years. And again, because they do this, because they feel you don't know your right, you don't know what if. But I think that some of these platforms should be able to aid us in educating the public.
Because it's like when you try to tell law enforcement, it's like you're trying to tell them their job, you're trying to argue with them. So they don't take it kindly that perhaps you're trying to show us how to do our jobs. But once we are hearing from you, it's valid for 2 years, we'll take it. But it doesn't apply to those who use the TV plates, like you've explained earlier.
For DV, like I told you, it expires by end of the year. But the DV plate, it is not for the ordinary use or ordinary course of use of a vehicle. When the law says ordinary course of use of a vehicle, it's like you have a vehicle you've registered. I have a vehicle with a DV plate. The Lord has not allowed me to get up and pick my key, right? Turn the engine, load my family into the car, and drive like you would do. Turn your engine, load your family into the car, drop your kids at school, your wife at work, and maybe you also go to work. That is the ordinary course of use. With a DV, you are restricted. The only time it should be allowed to move is because you are fixing a problem on the car. So if I see somebody driving a DV at 10 p.m., what were you fixing at that time?
Maybe they were going to a 24-hour workshop. I don't know, who knows.
So we must stop the abuses. So this year, we restricted the level of, or the quantity of DVs we've put out in the system.
Does that mean perhaps, so for those who have the DV plates, are they in their your database? So for instance, if you're on their way to fix something on the car, another accident happens, and perhaps the person absconds, is there a way to trace the person and say, you know what?
That is why we want to limit the extent of its use. You see, because we issue them out to garage owners, fleet dealers, okay, and the license plate dealers, what happens is that when you go and buy, okay, you are supposed to be given a logbook, and that logbook is supposed to contain the details of the vehicle, the person who has acquired it, and all other details. So when you are moving from one location to the other, you are supposed to fill in into the logbook. Okay, do you know that we are picking signals that people even rent out the DV plates?
Oh.
So somebody can buy it. He goes, after he registers his car, he takes it and gives it to another person. Meanwhile, the law, the LI 21, it says that when a DV plate is issued to a vehicle, it is to that vehicle alone. Because you can imagine if I pick a logbook and I enter details of this vehicle, and that record is with me, and now you finish and transfer it to another person, that transfer is never recognized in the documents. So that is where the abuse comes. And we know that when a vehicle is registered and licensed fully and given a license plate, those changes don't happen unless a criminal.
Yeah.
So that is why we encourage as many people to register their vehicles as much as possible and limit the use of the DV. So it makes detecting crime and dealing with crime difficult when somebody uses a DV to commit a crime.
So what's the way forward when it comes to the issuance of the new number plates?
So with the new number plates, our designs are ready. You know, the LI 2180 I referenced, Regulation 10, gives us a clear indication on what should be on a license plate.
Okay.
So when you see a license plate, the prefix AD, that's Adenta, you see number 54, which is the vehicle number, then dash 26 or 25. That dash, the 26 and everything is spelled out in the LI Regulation 10. It means that if you are making changes, you must equally make proposals and amend it. Those proposals have been made. We are waiting for the amendment to go through in Parliament. When it goes through, the President assents it, we gazette it, then the authority can rule out the new license plate regime.
And do you want to perhaps give us an estimate as to how long it will take? Perhaps
that would be... I don't have the President's itinerary.
Yeah, but maybe because you've been picking up signals, maybe you've heard something.
I haven't picked that signal.
So you, in about a minute, what final message do you have to give to those watching us, for those who want to own cars, who want to register their cars, renew their license, the DV plate, whatever it is you want to touch on before you go in a minute?
Good.
So we can
I emphasize the point that if you have a vehicle, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority today is registering cars. We have never run away from our responsibility, even though we intend bringing in a new license plate. The current regime allows for registration of vehicles. So you see, dash 26, we are registering cars until we get the LI amendment through to roll out a new one. You cannot have an excuse to say that you are entitled to use a DV to drive as long as we have not rolled out the new license plate regime. Because registration is ongoing. If that is what you are waiting for, it means you are not ready to drive the car.
You should park it.
The car should be parked home. When we roll it out and you want it, you come. Because every vehicle that is registered, you have sufficient time. We will give you ample time to do a change of the number plate. Because the number plate contains information that law enforcement can actually detect who owns a vehicle at what time. When crime is committed, we can get information in real time to deal with it.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot more we have to touch on, but this is all time will allow us for. So I want to thank you so much, Mr. Stephen Atubu, is the Director of Corporate Affairs at the DVLA, for engaging us this morning. We saw some of your questions. We'll try and answer them as well on our WhatsApp. But for now, the show isn't over. There's more coming up. Please stay with us.